Hello creative friends, I'm Monique and I'm back today with a new layout for Peartree Cutfiles. I've created my layout for the Design Team Challenge over in the Peartree Cutfiles Facebook group, and you are welcome to join us. Everyone is invited. You can grab this cut file over in the group. It's the Heart Impressions cut file, and that is the cut file I have centered my whole layout on. So I've started with that. I've cut it out from a lovely piece of pattern paper from Vicky Bouton's Colour Study collection, as well as the little Love You Always title piece. Another lovely cut file from the February release from Peartree Cutfiles, and I'm going to create a lovely rainbow background using these Campella watercolors. They're handmade here in the UK and they've got the most beautiful shimmer, and I just love using them. So I'm just marking where my cut file is going to be placed so that I've got that as a guide as I paint my background on. And I've just wet my paintbrush, add a little bit of water to all of the colors, and I'm just carefully going over each colour in turn in rainbow sequence, and I'm just making sure that I go over the lines that I've drawn in pencil so that I've got a bit of that rainbow peeking out on either side. Now I do come in going back and forth with my cut file just to see how it's looking and just go through each of those colours. I've decided to start with the purple, working through the sequence of rainbow colours, because my cut file for the title is kind of a yellow spotty pattern paper from one of Vicky Bouton's previous collections. So I wanted that to kind of line up in my placement with the yellow line of mixed media. So that's why I've started with the purple at the top, working my way down all the way to a beautiful pinky red. Now you can see I'm not creating even lines of colour. I'm kind of making a little bit uneven just for a little bit of interest. I don't want it to look too perfect, and I want some of those lines to extend a little bit further, to be peeking out from behind the title cut file as well. So there I am, just having a little check to see how that's all looking and adding a little bit more colour here and there just to lengthen those colour stripes so that it all works nicely. And I'm quite happy with that, and you can see all that beautiful shimmer from those gorgeous watercolours. They're just divine. Now I want to start seeing how everything looks together. I've got this really, really cute photo of my twins. They were a few months old, and every time it was milk time, they would always find each other's hands and hold on to each other, and it was just the sweetest thing, and I just absolutely adore this photo. So I just really wanted to document it. So I've got these lovely black and white florals, which were also from Vicky Bouton's Colour Study collection. They were from one of the pattern papers, and I've just fussy cut those out. And these hearts are from one of her previous collections, and I bought the pattern paper ages ago and cut out all the hearts because I just loved them, and I knew that I wanted them to be used in their individual form. So I had those already cut out, so I could just easily lay them out tone on tone and decide where I wanted them to go. I've cut the cut file out for the title in black as well. It's the same pattern paper as I've used for the Heart Impressions cut file, and I just want to use that to shadow the title piece. I really do love that yellow spotty pattern paper, but it doesn't stand out too well against the white background, and that little black shadow just really helps offset it nicely. So now I've got a piece of vellum, and I want to use it just to matte the back of my photo. I don't want a very strong matte that detracts too much, and there's a lot of colour going on in the background as well, so I don't want to add too much to the foreground that's going to conflict massively with that. So I just do 2 layers of the vellum with nice torn edges, and I just love the texture that provides, and just gives a nice subtle border around the photo. Now Vicky Bouton's got a lovely new collection out called Fernwood, and I've got this sheet of specialty paper, and they've got these beautiful butterflies with gold foiling on them. So I've fussy cut a few of those out just to place, again, tone on tone along my rainbow. So I'm just having a little play where I would like those to go, and I end up going with just 3 butterflies dotted along the horizontal there. And I've got these three-dimensional floral pieces from the Colour Study collection that I hadn't used previously. I've just got these 3 colours left, and they work quite nicely. They've just based on the colors that they are, they've spaced themselves quite nice and evenly across the layout, so they work beautifully in there as well. So I'm going to be sticking this down. I'm sticking the Heart Impressions cut file directly onto the background. So often I'll raise a cut file up, but this one I'm just going to stick straight on there, and I'm going to be raising up my photo and the title cut file instead. I'm using some regular craft foam just to raise my photo up, just to give it a bit of dimension. And then my title cut file, I'm using some thin strips of double-sided adhesive foam, which I've got from scrapbook.com. I love this. This is one of my crafty splurges. I find it makes raising up title cut files and skinny little pieces so much easier, just having that thin strip of foam adhesive. Now these florals, I want to give them just a little bit of dimension peeking out from behind that cut file. So the one side I've just stuck down with double-sided tape, and I've used some silicone glue just to pop up the other sides. And these cute little hearts, I've decided to fold them just to add a little bit of extra dimension. And I go about once again fiddling here just to get the perfect composition of the little butterfly flower and heart clusters across my page. So I've just taken my scissors and I just want to add a little bit of distressing to the edge of each of those hearts. Just a really subtle edge. I'm hoping that it's just going to define those hearts just a little bit and just give them a nice little edging against the black and colourful background. And again, I just pop those down with a little bit of silicone adhesive in the centre of each of those hearts. Now, like I said earlier, you are welcome to join us with this design team challenge for the month of February. Pop along to the Peartree Cutfiles Facebook group. I'll link it all up for you below, and you'll be able to grab the cut file there. And please do come along and join us and create your own version of a layout using this beautiful Heart Impressions cut file. So you can create anything you want using this cut file. Pop it into the relevant album by the deadline date. I'll put all the details down in the description box for you below, and you stand a chance to win a voucher to spend in the Peartree Cutfiles online store. So do come along and join us. It's lots of fun and you'll find lots of inspiration over in the group. So now I've stuck everything down, and I just want to add a little tab with the date, and I just use my tab punch and punch out a little tab using that same pattern paper I used for the title, and I feel it just kind of continues that pattern over onto the left side of my photo. And I stamp the date, and I realized that I actually don't have a date stamp that goes far enough back to 2016. So I had to make do and kind of cobble the numbers together to make the date, but it all worked out. And now I've got this little heart stamp, and I'm just doing a few little heart clusters around before adding in some of these lovely little Peartree pieces. They are beautiful shimmery gold, and I think they just complement the page really nicely, and adding that touch of shimmer as well. Now, something I don't usually do on camera or include in any of my photos is my journaling, and that is probably because that I find the journaling probably the most daunting part. I always feel like I need to think really hard about what I want to write and make sure that the words are just perfect, and sometimes I psych myself out of the whole journaling process, but I really wanted to get these words down, and I'm really going to try and challenge myself to include more journaling straight away when I create a layout. I've got so many layouts where I still need to do the journaling, and I think that makes the job even harder when it's been left. So hopefully 2022 is the year where I'll include more journaling as I create the layouts. And so now I've just got some acrylic black paint, which I've diluted with a little bit of water, and I'm adding a few little splatters around my page. I probably add a few too many splatters to my journaling area, which you'll see now, and I cover up half the words, but it's still legible in real life, so it all works out. And just sticking down these gold hearts, and I'm just about done, and I'm about to place that last one and then decide, oh, actually I want to stick one just above the journaling there. There's a little space and it fits in perfectly. So I get one and pop that down, and I'm just about done. Now I'm really pleased with how this is looking, but I feel like there's something missing. And I was going to just stitch border, but I didn't feel like getting my sewing machine out, so I thought, I'll just doodle a border around the edges, and that is just the finishing touch that it needed. I just felt like it needed something to kind of bring it all together, and I'm really happy with how that doodle border just finishes it off. So here is a close-up peek. You can see all that lovely shimmer from those Campbell watercolors and all the little details, and that beautiful cut file. I think those two cut files that I've used work so nicely together. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that something you've seen today has inspired you to create or given you a new idea or two. You can also find me on Instagram at handmadehappy by Monique. As always, I've linked up all the products I've used in the description box below, as well as all the links for Peartree Cutfiles. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!